Hey, how you doing again? We're coming to a close. We're getting toward the end. Basically, a lot of people want to ask me about genetics. Does genetics really matter? Yeah, genetics is a big, who knows how much. Scientists used to say that how things came out, how things shook out for you during your lifting was 80% genetics, due to genetics. Other people think it might be as low as 25. It's hard to say. You can't see how your DNA is unraveling, which genes are turning on to express this way, which genes are turning off to allow a different expression, the mechanisms behind it. We do know now through epigenetics that even with identical twins, genes can express themselves over time differently to cause a massive difference. Okay, so like in my own twin studies and two observational triplet studies, I've seen that identical, basically people who are the next closest thing to clones, by the time they become adults, depending on the environment that they subjected themselves to as far as diet, as far as drug abuse or drug use or malnutrition or the type of physical activity they're in, the weather and so forth. I've seen triplets, identical triplets, by the time they were adults, didn't even look like they were cousins. I remember these one set of triplets. One guy worked out in my gym. He was shorter than me, 200 pounds, shredded, ripped, strong as hell, muscular as hell. And then he weighed about, like I said, 200 pounds. His brother weighed about 165, built like a lean Chuck Norris. He had a little less male pattern baldness. He had a little more hair than his brother. He's leaner features. The brother had more muscular jaws, but the same features pretty much. And he just like, one was a vegetarian, the other guy was ate heavier on the animal proteins. Okay? Different mental states. One guy was into Taekwondo, his brother was into powerlifting and bodybuilding. The third brother didn't do any physical activity, got caught up in drug use, every drug of choice you could imagine, alcohol, meth, coke, this, that. And he was like old before his time. He didn't even look like he was the one brother looked like the two other brothers looked like they were fraternal brothers. This other guy didn't even look like a cousin, maybe a distant relative. He was a little shorter than all three of them. He was fat as hell. He probably weighed 250. He was balder, completely bald, with the side hair being long, gray, and grizzled beard, a lot of lines on his face. He looked like 15 years older. So, you know, if it was all genetics, no matter what they did, they should look the same, right? Well, it's the differences in training too, and I've seen it with the twin studies with Craig and his brother. Totally different because of different results because of different training protocols. Same diet. They had the same diet, except the one brother was basically eating more calories on purpose. But basically the same food. Same job. They had the same MOS. Same schedule. The biggest difference was how they trained, and so the difference results were dramatic. Dramatic. Not just by like a couple pounds. We're talking about that the one brother's strength ratio was 180% greater. Everything was greater. Okay, so genetics plays something, but you don't know how much. So when people say it's all in genetics, they're just speculating. One thing you can control and document and project is your environment. And so there's that. So regardless of genetics, let's say I have much better genetics than you and I start stronger than you, and for every bit of effort I get 5 pounds, 10 pounds, I consistently get more weight, more reps and so forth. That should not discourage you from training. That'd be like me saying, oh, if we both study and I get, we both go, you start with 110 IQ and I start with a 90 IQ, but over the course of 10 years, I'm operating at 120 IQ, but you're at 160. That's not fair. I should just satisfy staying at 90. Or you're going to eventually become a multimillionaire. I'll only become a millionaire, and that's not fair. So I shouldn't even quit making minimum wage. So you got to quit worrying too much about how much genetics comes into things. I had one guy say that the only reason why I did as well as I did do on the German 10s and some of my clients is that they had the perfect genetics, because a lot of guys on steroids don't make those gains. Well, two things. Genetics does come into play. Two, my clients and I don't simply do, let's do 10 sets of 10 for this weight. We use different, you've seen all the charts, we utilize all those variables. And all those variables will increase the amount of return that you get exponentially. You know, you can't say if a guy comes in indiscriminately, he has no idea if he's taking 30 seconds rest this set, he has no idea if he took a minute and a half. Because our mind's subjective, we don't know. Sometimes we think we took a minute, we took 3 minutes. Sometimes we think we took a minute, we took 30 seconds. So, you know, if you don't know how fast, if you're not really keeping track of your reps that closely, if you don't know how long it took you to do the set, if you don't know how long your rest was, if you're just kind of haphazard, you're not using all the variety of things that I point out here in the book, then how can you say that it's all due to genetics? Because they're not the same workouts by any stretch of the imagination. The only similarity that one guy who didn't get as good results as me, even though he got good results, is that he did 10 sets of 10. I did 10 sets of 10 and everything under the sun. So, till next vid.